What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams, and I'm back in here with the Ask Coach Greg Adams channel. Shout out to the Coach Gang for being here. And check out my 3 books that I wrote myself. The Free Agent Lifestyle, De-Evolution, and 52 Things That All Men Should Consider Prior to Marriage. The links are in the description box below. This video is from our man Ahmed in London, United Kingdom. Shout out to my brothers in the United Kingdom and shout out to everybody in the United Kingdom. Anyway, man, let's get into this question. He's talking about becoming a high-value man. He says, hey, I'm Ahmed from London, UK. I've been watching some YouTube content where people talk about becoming a high-value man and its virtues. I hear a lot about high-value men in the media, millionaires, billionaires getting ditched by their women. Is there any point in striving to become a high-value man? All right, thanks for bringing up this question. This one got kicked around a lot over the last few years, and particularly with our own Kevin Samuels, who's ascended to great heights, providing this content out here. Whether you agree with everything or not, he is doing what he's doing, and he's putting new phrases in the lexicon like high-value man. Now, he didn't create high-value man. That was something that was already kind of talked about, but he definitely elevated the term and made men realize the virtues of being a high-value man. And I want everybody to remember good, before Kevin Samuels became prominent in his genre and his niche of talking to women and kind of putting them in this place and for men enjoying this, he challenged men on high-value man. When he talked about high-value men, he was putting out the challenge to men. He was not talking about the advantages you get, in particularly with women. That came later, and he was talking about that as a side effect, all right, of being a high-value man. So everybody remember that. Kevin Samuels put out the challenge to become a high-value man, and he was talking to men, and men got their panties in a bunch related to this question. All right, and maybe not your panties, but your underwear in a bunch. And a lot of dudes rebelled against his message initially before he started doing the call-in from women. All right, who remembers that? And so when you think about this high-value man topic, it is a challenge to men to level up, to get in a better place in society, to constantly be striving to be the best version of yourself. You know, he talked about it in relationship to wearing suits and colognes and shoes and understanding, having a knowledge, getting a certain income, which guys, they got pissy about that. But it wasn't until he turned that into discussing with women who wanted these high value men, did it now become entertaining. And then men said, okay, I want to be a high value man all of a sudden. All right. But before he started talking to women, men were like, oh, you ain't got to be a high value man to get a woman. So think about that when we're talking about this. So look, high value man, men should desire to level up or have upward mobility to better themselves. And a byproduct of that is being able to have a little bit more leverage with women. Maybe you have a little bit more choice, or maybe you have a little bit more dominance in your relationship, but it always doesn't translate that way. And men have to understand that in this world now, you're a high value target the more money you make. You guys got to understand there's a lot of broke women. There's a lot of women being misled. They're being misplaced. They went to school, they got their degrees, and they ended up $15 an hour still. There's a lot of women selling their body right now. All right, I keep bringing it up, but the more I experience it and the more women are offering themselves at me, the more I understand that this is the place we are in society, and it is becoming to a point where it's acceptable for women to sell their body to patch their way through. A lot of women are in financial despair. They're living with roommates and sisters and relatives. There's not a lot of these women that you think are strong and independent that are actually making it on their own. You know, their consumer spending is off the chain, and a lot of them are still in a massive amount of debt despite the fact that they make good salaries. And this is where we are in our society. So when you think about this and you become a high value man, even then you become a target for these people. Okay, you say you make a certain income, then the women that are selling their bodies, okay, or they're selling their time, or they're selling the meetings, they're selling themselves to you at what would be a low rate for you as a high value man, but would be considerably high for most men. So you're a target. They're going to target you, and they say you can afford $500, $1,000, $1,500 for one night of my time, and you can. Or if you're in a relationship mode and you're a high value man, Now you become a bigger target because there's even women that are saying, we're looking for men that we're able to divorce. Okay? And who are they? These are the high value men. So you're a high value target. And when you come out here, there's not that many men that fit into the idea of what these women want as a rescue plan, as a plan to fall back on, as a retirement plan. And that's going to be you. And we're seeing that with these millionaires and these billionaires. You got Jeff Bezos, you got Bill Gates, and another one, Elon Musk, just recently split up from his girlfriend that he just had a baby with, and he's been divorced several times. And he's parting away with money that is not going to be a big deal with him, but for you, it could be a big deal for you. And as you're leveling up, as you're becoming that high value man, and you don't realize that you're a target, you're going to be cut down significantly on your funds, and it's not going to be fun for you, and it's going to prevent you from wealth building. It's going to prevent you from getting there. So as you're thinking about this, yes, become a high value man. Become whatever you think is the better version of yourself. It's not a bad thing. If Kevin Samuels is putting the mark at a certain thing, hit 4 or 5 of those marks and you'll get there. You'll see that there's going to be a difference in the people that are attracted to you. But you got to also remember there's apex predators out there. Okay, when I say apex predators, these aren't people who are bad because they're predators. We're predators as well, right? We're predators and other people are prey. There's a hierarchy in the chain, in the food chain. So when you say apex predators on the female side, this isn't a bad thing. These are people who are looking to survive and they're going to do whatever they can. They're going to act like they love you. They're going to act like they're down for you. They're going to act like they're ride or die, and you're going to marry them. Then they're going to bait and switch you, and it's going to cost you. And if you can afford it, pay the cost to be the boss. If you can't afford it mentally, financially, psychologically, if you can't afford it socially, don't do it. But doesn't mean you can't become a high value version of yourself. Okay, this is the thing. So Jeff Bezos and a Bill Gates and all of these guys, Elon Musk, yes, they're taking L's, but they can afford it for the most part, and it doesn't damage them because they're a high value guy. Another point here is when you're a high value target, you're leveling up. You are easily going to be able to be accused of something. There are men in marriages that are being accused of domestic violence. They're getting arrested for domestic assault or some of these crazy things that's happening here. And with that knowledge, you have to understand that your wife has an out. You don't do right by her, and you're one of these high value men, and you believe that high value men could cheat on their wives. Well, shit, there was a point in history where they could. But now they know they have an out. Domestic violation, okay? Physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, whatever type of abuse, verbal abuse. And they can do that and ride their way to getting some of your resources. So with that in mind, I'm a person that says if the definition of a high value is the best version of myself, I'm good with that. If I'm doing it for women, nah, I'm not going to do it for women because I know most of the time with women are a byproduct of your success. They are not the reason for you to become successful, although rock stars and NBA players might differ, okay? But they also know the lesson. They always learn the lesson on the end. Yes, it probably would have been better to lease these women than to buy. Some of these idiots don't get it. They continue to buy these women. I look at it like this. I see women as an investment short term with the short term return. Okay, that's all I look at it for. And so if it's going to make me say, I want to be high value in order to put myself in a position to lease the best women I can, then yes. High value men don't run game. Okay, they don't run game. They don't depend on the mouthpiece. It's good to be able to understand women and communicate with them. But that running game and trying to attract low quality women to lay with them, that's a low vibration, low quality thing. Okay, that's men trying to get something for free by skirting all this other stuff, and then they're dealing with low quality women, and then they get problems on the end. So high value men don't play game. They don't run game. They lease women. They get what they can from them. Sometimes they marry them, and sometimes they can afford to divorce. It is what you want to do with it. Now, if you don't want to deal with any of those issues, and you want to say, well, I don't want to be a high value man because I don't want to deal with getting divorced or dealing with an abuse claim or domestic violation or Me Too. If that's going to be the reason why you don't become high value, well, then, it seems like women are going to be your motive, your drive force of your life. And that's not right. I would say, and excuse my swallow, I would say your reason for being a high value man is for yourself, to put yourself in a better position in this life, not for women. Women are obviously going to be attracted to you. And then with the knowledge base that you get with women and what we're providing for you, you can be the best version of yourself for yourself as with women as a byproduct. To lease them for temporary use and discard or displace, okay, or put in place to take them off the shelf. Emergency vagina in a glass. All right, if that's what you want to do, that's kind of how I would live it. And it would be all contractual. It would be straight up. Anyway, that's my video for today. Shout out to the Coach Gang for being here. And we'll be back in here with another video. And I'm out. Peace.